Join me now is a supporter of the Cut, Cap, and Balance plan, Congressman Tom Graves of Georgia. Congressman, thanks for coming on the show. You know what I find interesting is that you were one of 103 House Republicans who actually had to sign a letter so that GOP leadership would push this issue. What is it about the GOP leadership that they've had to be pushed so hard on what seems by many to be a common sense approach?
Well, you're right. We've been working long and hard on this proposal for many weeks, and we hear a lot of frameworks and deals out there, but this is the only plan that's been out there for the American people to see, to be engaged in. The grassroots are behind it, and I think it's just taken weeks for that grassroots movement to develop and see that the president, number one, has no plan, the Senate has no plan, the Democrats have no plan whatsoever. This is the only plan out there. It's a historic vote tomorrow, and this is going to be an opportunity right now tomorrow as we see the American people have the opportunity to witness whether or not their congressman is serious about getting this debt crisis under control or not.
Okay, now the plan, of course, is to cut spending, cap spending, and to have a balanced budget. Everyone's saying, well, you know, this is sort of politics as usual because there's no way in the world it could ever get through the Senate, and there's no way in the world the president would ever sign it. Do you see this as more of a moral victory that it's up for vote, or do you see this as perhaps pushing the envelope in ways that other outsiders can't envision just yet?
Well, I see this is a very serious proposal. Like I said, it's the only plan out there. I mean, we're very confident it's going to move through the House. We're going to encourage everyone to engage with their senators across the nation and let them know how important it is. I mean, it's common sense. I mean, you're cutting the deficit now. You're capping the federal government and saying it can only grow so big and it has to be tied to the gross domestic product. And then a balanced budget amendment. I mean, nothing is more common sense than that. And when I see members vote against it tomorrow, I'm just going to be shaking my head thinking, how could you vote against such simple, common sense measure that the American people are really expecting us to do here in Washington?
Okay, let's stick with that line of thinking for a moment. One of the narratives has been you can't cut your way to prosperity. What do you say to those who say it's just absolutely nuts that you will lower quote-unquote revenues and at the same time think you can grow the economy?
Well, I mean, first of all, we can just look back, here in the near term, the last couple of years, we can see that the spend and tax proposals that have been out there and increasing our debt have not worked. The economy is suffering, 9.2% unemployment. Nothing is getting better. So let's try a different approach, an approach that we know that works because we can look back over time and see that when the federal government is limited, when its expenditures are less, then it's taxing less. That leaves more for the job creators out there. Most importantly, we just need fiscal responsibility in Washington. And look, that's a bipartisan problem. Over the years, there's been Republicans and Democrats that have both aided in this the issue that we have today. So let's together tackle it and send it to the states. Let the states determine if we should balance our budgets or not.
You know, I think one of the reasons some of the GOP leadership was worried, they think back to 1995 when our economy was halting our economy, but the government stopped spending money for a while, and they're a little worried about the blame game. If this goes through, are you worried about the blame game and the fact that no matter how much common sense you think is going into this from your point of view, that the Republicans are blamed if there's nothing done and the economy slows down because of this action?
Well, I know that we got elected last November to lead, to provide solutions, have a vision. That's what the Republicans are doing right now. They're providing common sense solutions to tackle this enormous problem. It's a big challenge. Now, we hear the president wants to raise taxes and he wants to put spending cuts out 10, 12 years from now. Look, our debt crisis is today's crisis. We need to deal with it today. That's why this proposal makes sense, and it's a short-term, medium-term, long-term approach that provides a glide path for our country to get back on the right track. And so that's why I support it. Many conservative Republicans do in the House and the Senate. It's going to be a great day for America tomorrow as we debate this and we expose those who truly are just about rhetoric and their political posturing and those who are serious about getting this nation back on track.
You know, I got to tell you, I think it's a shame that we do need some sort of force, to force the Washington, D.C. to come up with a balanced approach to all of this, but apparently we do. So congratulations for getting this to a vote. I agree with you there. Thanks a lot for your time, Congressman Graves of Georgia.
Thanks for letting me join you. Thank you.
Well, the congressman is right. I mean, our debt problem is now, right?
It's now.
And we need the solution that
and
fits
the spending
the time
cuts are
frame.
now, too, I think.
Absolutely.